Hey everybody, it's Aaron from the Kill Be Life, bringing another Kill Be Life video, and I'd just like to thank Element for sponsoring this video. Man, I'm just a regular guy who's sitting on a health journey. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and so I decided to be crazy and go on a carnivore diet to see if I could find healing in my life, and I did. I lost 25 pounds in the first 90 days, and I dropped my A1C from 6.7 all the way down to a 5.7. That was all without medication. I'm now 14 months in and I've lost about 50 pounds, and I'm in the best shape of my life. And I'm feeling pretty good most of the time. Stress does get to me though, and let's talk about that. Yeah, I'm in the best shape of my life. It's like, I'm feeling pretty good. Been able to work out, do some strength training, and I feel pretty good. I actually went in for my 4-month checkup, and I go to the doctor and my BP is elevated. As usual, when I go to the doctor, I check at home. Before I left, it was 118/85 and then 120/82. I have something called white coat syndrome. And yeah, it's a real thing. I didn't know it was a thing, but I guess it's a thing. Especially at this doctor, because I already feel like I have a little bit of like, I want to say issues with the doctor, but like it hasn't gone that great. It's like obvious that he just wants me to take the statin drugs, and there's like nothing else he could do. But I go into this doctor appointment, and he had a medical student in there with him, and my doctor looked at him and was like, "Oh, this is Aaron. He has the highest cholesterol that I've ever seen." I see the guy writing down the little notes. Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, it's high cholesterol. And all I did is I went on a low carb diet, a 0 carb diet. I went on the carnivore diet, and my LDL cholesterol went sky high. I have other videos on the channel, like my last total cholesterol was 508 and LDL was 438. And I don't know what it is this time. Yeah, I'll tell you why. Another thing that happened on the diet is that my HDL also started elevating and my triglycerides plummeted, and the doctors don't seem to really waste their time on those numbers, because LDL is always the focus, and if it's over 190, you get a statin. You get a statin, you get a statin, you'll get a statin. At 190, you get a statin. And what I've learned is when I go on a low carb diet, personally, I'm a hyper responder. I don't think I'm a lean mass hyper responder, but I'm at least a hyper responder. And I was doing some research about hyper responders. Like, what is a hyper responder? The term hyper responder has been used with ketogenic and low carb, high fat keto diets in the community to describe those who have a very dramatic increase in their cholesterol after adopting a low carb diet. This increase can be anywhere from 50% to 100% or more of the original pre-diet cholesterol numbers. I also realized that I might actually be one of the unicorns that has
familial hypercholesterolemia. Familial hypercholesterolemia.
But I did have genetic testing for it, and it did come back negative. But I looked at the paper, and it said, at the form they gave me, it says there's still a 40% chance that you have it, but they don't know how to test for it. I'm like, well, that's super helpful. There's a 40% chance I still have it. LDL 438 last time. And what about this visit? I will try to get to that soonish. Said that twice. So I was talking to my doctor about what the optimal LDL cholesterol he thought was, and they said 70. I was like, well, there's no way I'm going to get to 70 on a statin. And he was like, maybe if we get the right combination, it might actually be possible. And it was like one of these moments, like for some reason when I go to the doctor, like I forget everything that I learned about a carnivore diet, low carb diet, and my mind goes blank. And I think it's the stress, or I don't know, maybe just as a child you just learn to hold doctors in high regard and go to them for answers for health and just trust them. But I think I might need to get over that while still respecting doctors, but because I think they can be educated, but I'm willing to learn. But it seems like my doctor's not willing to learn anything from me. I left that appointment just thinking, I don't think he wants to learn anything from me. And I mean, why would I say that my doctor's not willing to learn anything from me? Like, how could I actually know that? Well, I've noticed a trend. He actually switched my appointments from every 3 to 4 months. But this time, he's like, I'll see you back in 6 months. And he's still pressing medication this time, even though he didn't even put in for a lab check this time. I haven't had my labs done in 4 months, but he didn't even bother to check him this time. I think he's done with me. And I was like, well, what if my LDL went down from last time? We'll never know because he isn't interested in knowing that this time for some reason. So I feel like essentially he can't help me if I don't take the medication. I feel like, okay, I finally feel like I got the message. But I still got to think, what do I do? But I guess to his credit, he did send me in for a referral to see a cardiologist because of my CAC score of 122. It's something I need to pay attention to. I assume it's all from my standard American diet, just living a rough life. We'll see what the cardiologist says. Not to be a skeptic, but probably statin. Statin. But I'm also looking into Virtua Health. I got a recommendation from a viewer. They specialize in a low-carb diet, or low-carb diets for healing. Virtua is setting a new standard for diabetes, pre-diabetes, and weight loss care. I know these Virtua places could be costly, and I have a consultation coming up, and I'm excited to see their approach and if I can afford it. That reminds me to thank Element for sponsoring this video, and also thank you guys for watching my journey. And I feel super blessed because of it. But Element is a tasty electrolyte drink that has all the stuff you want and none of the junk. I like Element because it doesn't have all the junk that you'll get in the Gatorade and a lot of the aspartame and all that kind of stuff that you'll find in ones at the drugstores. Yeah, I would just recommend that if you're sensitive to sugars or even like stevia and stuff like that, that just stick to the raw unflavored. But if it doesn't really bother you, or maybe on the weekends, give yourself a little treat if you've got some control back in your diet. Try some of their flavors. They got that new grapefruit flavor for a limited time, and that stuff is really good. I just got off a phone call with a guy that watches our channel that had some arrhythmia problems, and he was low on potassium. I'm like, yes, if you go on a low carb diet, a lot of times you will need electrolyte. Element has a science-backed recipe of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. And again, it's all the stuff you want, none of the BS, and you need electrolytes if you are on a low carb carnivore diet. And it has really helped me with my workouts. I try to have some Element, the unflavored stuff, before I work out in the morning. I usually only do half of one and then use the other half for when I go to work, because I have noticed if I get those electrolytes in, my workouts are better. I have less cramping in the evenings. Element is offering our viewers one free sample pack like this with any purchase. Drinkelement.com, DRINKLMNT.com/Kilby. It'll be on the screen and down in the description, and you'll get a free sample pack with any purchase. Yes, mango chili, lemon habanero, chocolate salt, watermelon salt, orange salt, all unflavored, raspberry salt, and citrus salt. And I do know they have grapefruit on their website, so maybe check that out. That's some pretty good stuff. Again, go to drinkelement.com/Kilby to get your free sample pack today. Yeah, I think it's really time for me to find a new doctor. Like, I didn't even want to bring this video because so many people are like, find a new doctor. It hasn't been that easy for me to find a new doctor. And I'm hoping this Virtua Health stuff works. If not, I'm just going to keep fighting for myself, because I need a doctor, a new doctor that will fight for me to be healthy, that will listen to me, that will talk to me. And I guess I'm sure that he thinks that what he is doing for me is the right thing, but he's not taking any time to have a real conversation with me about health, other than just taking pills. Not even any mention of diet or exercise. And I remember, you know, when he left the room, when him and the medical student left the room, I almost started crying. I started welling up. I got so frustrated because I'm tired of not being heard. It's like he didn't want to listen to me. It's like, doctor, I'm getting healthier, I'm getting stronger every single day. Most days I feel stronger. I've had a couple mulligans over the last 14 months, but then I heard them talking out in the hallway about my LDL. It was like super loud. I hear LDL. It's like, man, it felt so disrespectful to me. And the nurse came back in, and I was like, you know, I can hear them talking about me out there. And I'm just thinking, man, what about have a real conversation with your patient instead of a conversation in the hallway? It really left me feeling like garbage, and I'm tired of feeling like garbage at the doctor. Really, I started swirling like maybe I should just take the statin. Then I started remembering all the side effects from statins. So I'm thinking maybe I should take the statin, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ask myself, why am I thinking this way? Aaron, why are you thinking this way? Lord, why am I thinking this way? What should I do? What should I do? Because I'm looking for health. And it really just seemed like I had two choices. One was motivated by fear, and the other was an educated step of faith. I'm actually eating what we're designed to eat. That actually matters. And I'm not against medication, and maybe might consider a statin if a low-carb educated doctor gave me some real reasons to try it. But I've never seen any of those real reasons from a doctor. I've only seen reasons that not to take them. I am not going to make fear-based decisions. But I would just want to ask you guys, do me a favor and pray for me. I'm calling all prayer warriors, pray for me. This stuff stresses me out and I could really use some peace. And I know some of you guys are sending me stuff about peace, literally today. As a disclaimer, I just hope this doesn't discourage people who are considering a carnivore diet. I'm an oddball. Like, I have different issues being a hyper responder and stuff. Like, in so many ways I'm an oddball. But I'm also in the best shape of my life because of the carnivore diet, and that must mean something. Again, I just want to thank everyone that watches these Kilby live videos. If I earned your subscription today, make sure I get it. Kilby out. Is this natural? Does this look natural? Does this look natural? Does this make me look comfortable and natural? Is this natural?